I never know what to say in the beginning. Oh, here we go. I guess we've started. Hey, everybody, it's week 4 or 5. Week 5. Here we go.
Week 4 recap show, week 5 preview show.
Yeah, yeah.
And of course, we're talking about the Major League Baseball playoffs, which starts right now.
Right.
The first game is in the first inning of the Major League Baseball wild card. So,
Wow, well, let's hurry and get this over with so I can get to watch it.
yeah, Rangers Rays 0-0, top of the second. We're actually going to just be on a rolling commentary if anybody scores in the big wild card game.
Oh, yeah. Pins and needles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just jump into the recap.
Okay, great.
Also, I'm Aaron. This is Jason. We're here to talk about our fantasy football league. Oh, there we go. Let's kick it off with Jay and Chris.
Okay.
Jay defeats Chris 131-117. That's a feisty one. Lahan comes out hard. This is his best game of the season by far. He's 19 points ahead of what he beat Jeff with in week 2. Yeah. 117, not enough for the trip to the woodshed that Coach Bond drops on Mahoney. Real well-rounded effort by Chris. He got Dak over 30. Yeah. Got 4 skill guys in the teens. Vipers are just top-heavy. Jalen Hurts out there, and then Derrick Henry just reminding everybody he's not done stiff-arming fools yet. Man. We talked about it after the draft. Jay going so quarterback-heavy. He's got 4 guys, and they all went off this week.
Yeah. And of course, he's got the Dallas defense, which scored over 30 points. I mean,
yeah. One week off, and now they're back to just being monsters.
Yeah. I mean, that Arizona game is such a bewildering game. But 131 is a dominating performance. But look at Mahoney at 1-3. My goodness. And his best team in years. Gosh. This was a really good game, though. And Jay looks really good.
He's going to be a handful. Let's just get mine over with.
Okay.
John defeats Aaron 76-60. I haven't checked my porch to see if you're going to call me away from the screen.
No.
Sunday morning, I got up real early. I was watching the game from London. I saw Desmond Ridder. I knew was inexplicably terrible, but I picked him up anyway this last week. And I saw him play so terrible in the first half that the entire halftime show was just, I mean, they got to sit this guy, right? I mean, you got to sit him down. He's that kind of performance. And so that guy, Desmond Ridder, he was so bad that he still managed to outscore Joe Burrow this week.
Man, so, do you want them to shut down Joe for a couple of weeks with his calf? He just can't.
I wanted that in
backfield.
Yeah, I wanted that back in week 1. I wanted just sit him till it's right. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing, but he obviously can't throw the ball downfield.
No.
And I mean, I just want him to get healthy for your sake. I do have 2 slides. Of course, we were on the 2023 Cobra Kai skill player touchdown watch last week. And Khalil Herbert.
Yeah, my man.
Yeah, it's been 4 weeks with chances for all of your skill players. So we did cross the barrier from 0 skill player touchdowns to 1. So congratulations.
That league.
And I hope that Joe can get healthy because your team needs it. But 76 points for the first win for the Hellhounds. I can't wait till we get to some Middendorf talk because my goodness.
Well,
some pretty.
I want to add here. John's got a player that scored 47 points last week, and John thought, I got to see a little bit more of this before I'm going to start this kid. I don't. It sucks so bad that my limp Cobras are just too flaccid to make somebody pay for a move like this. It just. My team's kind of like the poor man's Hellhounds, really. I feel like I like a lot of the guys. I love their game, but it's just not translating into points here. We just finished the first quarter of the season. The stuff we know right now isn't going to be true 2 months from now, but I got to get some breaks, or I don't know. I mean, it's got to be the worst 4-game start anybody's ever had in the history of ever. So
I think it might be, and you're the one hosting this show.
Yeah, which is great. I have so much credibility here. Believe what I think about these players because clearly I'm so smart.
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if there's been fewer points scored. That would be a great job for one of our interns. Maybe we can get a Southern Nazarene University sports journalist intern to look up the least amount of points a team has scored after the first 4 weeks. We'll have to see
One
if
of
we
your
can
golf kids.
Yeah, I'm sure that'd be great. We'll give him the password for the commissioner's spot. He can look through all the old archives. But
I have the old Stanford password. He's good.
Hey, I want Joe to get healthy because right now the Cobras rest upon his calf right now, and I don't want him to get something else hurt because his calf's hurt. Because did you see him?
Yeah,
like messing with his was it with the wrist?
Yeah, after they threw him down by his face.
Yes.
Just he was getting annihilated.
Yeah, he can't move. He can't move. He needs to get healthy, and we'll get to the Cobras. Yeah, stick in there. We'll go into another game. We'll see what happens next week.
And a team with another set of fortune. Jason defeats Jeff 114-82. Defending champs taken down by the crane kicking Karate Kids. Jeff with the rare trio wide receiver start here, where all three guys caught a ball in the end zone, but nobody broke 10 points. You're not going to see that very often.
I mean, another one for the intern, because I don't think that would have ever happened before. In the years we've allowed 3 wide receivers to start.
Najee finally gets 100 yards for whatever that's worth. I guess that's progress. Oh God, that Steelers offense is terrible. Mahomes gets outplayed by Baker Mayfield and Russell Wilson. Let's ride. 1 and 3. Jeff's got to be alarmed. On the other side, man, Stroud is legit. That's a good pick.
Oh,
nice game from Kenneth Walker. Did you see where he almost had the 73-yard touchdown and he was down by like a hair on his bottom?
Yes, I did.
For you, the real story was Diggs. Man, Stephon Diggs was just spinning off dudes and he was dragging dudes. It was like he just heard all this Dolphins hype and he just had enough.
Man, he's got some dog in him, man. Like, I really do feel like he took it as complete slander against him, that everyone's talking about how fast everyone was on Miami and was like, I'll show them. Like, man, he is somebody, reminds me of Jimmy Butler in the NBA.
Yeah. That's a good comp.
You're talking about me, who, and then just be like, I'm going to destroy you because of it. So
yeah, never gets talked about as the best, but on any given night, like he just is.
Yeah. It's I was really worried about Herbert's left hand, but I think that I'll bench him this week and start Stroud just week 5. We'll talk about that in the upcoming weeks. But yeah, sure. I also we missed Patrick Mahomes sliding and giving up a touchdown so his team could win rather than getting a few extra points for his fantasy teams. And I got to tell you that shows you what his true colors are. What he really cares about. He cares about winning and not helping out his fantasy owners.
Yeah, that's an ugly stat line, really, but I mean, he cares about the W.
Yeah, he does. So I'm not worried about Mahomes, Burrow, or Herbert. So let's keep going.
Yeah. Josh defeats Jeremy 97-56. This was our game of the week.
Yeah.
Jeremy is only the second team this season with a weekly score below that of the Cobras. That's rough, man. Jeremy is out there like baptizing babies and showing people all around the congregation super low quality videos of his kids making football plays. I mean, Jeremy's got a lot going on a Sunday morning. He didn't know his quarterback was a late scratch. Man, that is a tough way for our game of the week to go down.
For sure.
Also had David Montgomery on the bench with his just monster game.
3 touchdowns on Thursday night. Yeah.
What a way that he could have started. Dr. Wee Dog, he with a mortal Tua game, but he still just cruises to the win.
Yeah.
14 from a kicker. That's just stupid.
Yeah.
Josh's schedule has been wild. Like, he's 4-0, but he's yet to have a close game. His average margin of victory is like 27.
Wow.
But most of the people he's playing on my crappy division. So he's just Brisson. I mean, nobody's scoring against him, but he's 4-0. Go
4-0, but his team looks great.
Yeah.
But he was definitely vulnerable this week with just a couple of different lineup changes. But I want to give Dudabai, just like you said, a huge pass. A senior pastor on a Sunday morning when he was a late scratch. You as a pastor, sometimes I'm sure you set that lineup and you can't think about whatever all the responsibilities he would have at Smith Center to be able to say, oh, let me check that lineup during this moment of the service. He just can't do it. So it's just a pass. But I think that his team is really good. And Puka Nacua is one of the most fun
Yeah.
rookies that we've had in years.
Oh,
Such
what a
an
story.
incredible player. I was so pumped with how pumped his team was when he scored that game-winning touchdown. Like, I felt they were super excited for him to get his first touchdown. Just an incredible young player.
Yeah, you like to see the enthusiasm around the young guy. It's
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, it's pretty fun.
What do we
Oh,
got? Oh,
oh,
Chad defeats
look,
John 136-79.
look away.
Yeah, John gets a great Lamar game. Not a lot of yards, but man, he was all over the place in the end zone, throwing,
Four touchdowns
running.
was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, Bijan shows up, and boy, the rest of John's team is just. See, this is where it's terrible having my team this season because who am I to talk? But oh my God, no, it's awful. It's gross. Chad, the Rompers somehow get less out of Andrew Jackson than Kirk Cousins, under 20.
Yeah.
He's down there at 19 points. The rest of his guys, though, man, look at that. 23, 20, 20.5, 24.7. Four guys outscored his quarterback.
Yeah,
That's
if you
some balance.
yeah,
And a
if you were to
mediocre
say,
Devonta game.
yeah, if you were to say, will you win or lose? You can have four players outscore your quarterback. You obviously automatic L. And that's what I noticed about it too. Especially if you're thinking, oh man, Kirk Cousins against Minnesota. Yeah, I mean Minnesota against Carolina. Surely he's
the
gonna
Panthers.
score. Yeah. So wild, that was a wild game. Man, this Josh mentioned on the message board about some of the records. There are some haves and some have-nots this year so far after the first quarter of the season.
Which kind of means all the have-nots were still alive because the playoffs are so big.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. Here we go. Shane and Brandon. Man, now this score is basically a mirror image of Chris and Jay. What an entertaining game, though. 41 for McCaffrey. Like, what a perfect quarterback for the modern era. Now he's got the coach that can use him with his imagination instead of, Ron Rivera. 41 points, though, not enough to drag the carcass of the rest of the team to victory. Brandon was so dependent on that London game. Lawrence was okay. Jack's defense, woo, we already talked about Desmond Ridder just pooping the bed, but mortal game out of Tyreek when we were expecting more fireworks. Buffalo just handled them. They knocked Tua down a bunch.
I mean, every time he gets hit, I get worried. But yeah, it's that AJ Brown game. I mean, just 136 points is so many points. I'm not sure how many times Brandon has got against a quarterback this year that has scored 60 points, but it's got to be a lot. I may actually look that up in a second because his points against are really something else. So
the opposite of my division. Yeah. Josh Allen beat my team by himself. In fact, 3 teams posted scores this week that would have beaten the combined scores of Jeremy and I together. So Shane beat Jeremy and I combined. Jay beat and Chad. Jeremy gets a pass because no quarterback, but that's bad.
That's wild to me. I'm looking at some of the stats. Don't have to be able to put this on the screen immediately, but the most points scored in the league is 503 by Chad. I'm 4 points behind with 499.
Yeah,
John Middendorf
in front of everybody.
John Middendorf had 4 weeks, has had 562 points scored against him in 4 weeks.
No wonder his record is like that.
It's just, it's absolutely, there must be something wrong with yours, because you only says you've scored 240 points in, which is
there is something wrong with mine. It's the team.
Huh. Oh, okay.
Me choosing these players, there's something very wrong.
I felt bad for Brandon when you look up and you think I could have beaten so many teams by 50 points and take a loss. That's tough. Yeah. That's tough. So that was the week that was. Here's our picks contest. You have John Middendorf with 0 wins in the league. The only winless team at the top of the hill. At 43 and 21. Followed obviously by you and I. So picks contest looking good. And you and I are also both alive along with John, Brandon, and Josh in the contest.
I liked here the boldness of Tolkien going with the winless Vikings.
He took it. I think he just hates Carolina. I think he hates Carolina. You know what? I wonder how it would have been a good strategy to just pick whoever's playing Carolina every week. He might do that. Brandon, if you haven't started, if that wasn't your idea, you should just roll with it the rest of the
Just
way.
cathartic. Yeah.
Our best ball league looks like this week. You have the Pharisees at 0-4 and Lydell Cars at 0-4 with Smitty and Aaron at 4-0. So
Yeah.
team of the week this week was you. And it wasn't because of your quarterback, it was your number one overall pick. It was the 33, 20, 24, 32, 16. I mean, it was
sounds like my kind of woman.
It was quite the week this week. So we wanted to celebrate your 4-0 team in the best ball league. So also I wanted to show that people there, the way that Josh is running the league, that there are different ways that you can get points based upon the points you score relative to the week. So this is the overall standings for the best ball league.
This makes me think you're cheating somehow.
Yeah, I need to go back and read the rules. Also, don't think that Raging Rhinos read the rules at all in this league, and we know Chad didn't because he tried to make a trade. So now we have a week 5 preview.
I do want to spring something on you.
Yeah, please.
Because I wanted a fresh opinion. We have 5 teams that are at 1-3.
Okay.
If you had to swap rosters with one of them, all right, and moving forward, you no longer get your team. You could have the Rhinos anchored by Mahomes. Maybe Austin Eckler gets going. You could lead the Shire with Roll King Tolkien. Got the best running back in football. You got the Cheetah in Miami. Start being a Jags fan. You got the Cobras. Maybe they remember how to play football. Issues go a lot deeper than Burrow's calf, though. Hellhounds, you got Achane, you got Gibbs, Olave, Waddle. You're not picking Mahoney, but I mean, who do you want?
Well, this is a great question. I think I'm taking the Hellhounds. I obviously would love to have Mahomes, but I think that he's made some trades that have made his team weaker. I love Brandon's skill players. It'd be so fun to root for McCaffrey and, of course, for Tyreek Hill. That would be super fun. But to be a Jags fan, man, I would hate having to root for the Jags. Like I would have to make a trade there. I think Brock Purdy is actually probably the best quarterback on the Hellhounds roster. I'm not sure how we got him. I'm not a big Jordan Love fan. He has so much running back depth that I think that he will probably make a trade to be able maybe to get better quarterback or wide receiver. And he's just a trade maestro. He doesn't have any picks to trade with, but his running backs, Mostert, Achane, Moss, and Gibbs, he has 4 starting running backs on his roster right now. And of course, Waddle's awesome and Olave is awesome. I think Addison's good. I think Purdy's a good quarterback. I think he's got a good team. And of all the teams that I have, if you would force me to switch with right now, great question. And I did not prepare for this, but I actually looked at his team and was like, I like his team a lot. Who would you choose between the teams that you mentioned? Of course, not Mahoney.
Well, because I'm one of the weak teams, right. I would choose, I guess, yours. I'll take your guys.
Okay.
I get to pick a good team because I have a bad team.
Yeah. That's right. Well, that makes me feel great. That warmed my heart a little bit. So I actually
then I could just trade them all away. I just want to ruin what you've built.
Oh my gosh. That really hurt me. So let's keep going. I actually, if do you want to talk about anything else before we get to the next preview?
No, let's go on. Let's look at week 5.
I guess I could throw another slide in there. I said to get where we're at, but let's just go. Let's go to the preview. And for those of you who are watching online, sometimes I think that it covers up the upper right hand part of the screen. So I don't know how to move our faces. We're doing the best we can. Yeah, it looks like we've got on the screen, we've got 2 1-3 matchups. One of these teams will go to 2-3.
Yeah, it's fun how these guys have they've got games all over the place. Like Thursday night, London, several guys on Monday night. Like this is going to be a fun one to track if it's close.
Yeah, love it.
For Chris, like San Francisco seems like a real tough matchup for Dak. I guess I like Jordan Love versus the Raiders because the Raiders seems to be terrible. I think that's an advantage, John. Running back's kind of a wash. I could see that going either way. Both guys have some guys that could be monsters or maybe kind of leave you wanting a little more. Um, I like John's wide receivers way more than Chris's though. So Chris seems outmatched. I got to go John.
Yeah, I'm going with John too. I think it's Mahoney's best team in years, but I just don't think he has the firepower to stay with those Miami three. And I think it's a get right game. They're home against the Giants. The Giants looked awful. I think that the Miami is a really fun team to play with the head and a coach that just likes to score points. It's like they've
Yeah,
got a coach who played video games growing up and is like,
100% is a
yeah,
Madden.
yeah,
Yeah,
just like let's just keep scoring points because this is fun.
yeah.
Almost a little bit like Pete Carroll last night at 2 years old, beating up on the Giants. He's like the week before the bye week, just having to have as much fun as possible. The two couldn't be different, more different
Man,
age, but they're similar in personality, it seems like.
those goons don't want to pull Daniel Jones out of the game. Like, just keep hitting him.
It
I don't,
dude, that was absolutely excruciating to watch. Like I want him
yeah,
to pull him out of the game. Uh 10 sacks, man, last night. That was a wild Monday night game. So I will also take Mendenhall, and I think this Mendenhall is on the rise. So next we have a 3-1 Rompers matchup versus the 1-3 Cobras.
this is gross. I'm gonna keep playing Burrow because I mean, hoping everything just magically gets better. Because I don't know. What am I gonna do? Trade Jay for one of his quarterbacks? This one's just simple. Like there hasn't been a single week all season the Cobras have outscored the Rompers. Like, why should we think anything is going to change? He's got me at every position. This is a Chad win.
Yeah, I'm taking Chad too, man. I do think that you've got Jonathan Taylor in your starting lineup this week. I'm very curious to see what will happen uh, with him.
Yeah,
You need some good luck. You need some Cobra good luck, but you're running into I mean his skill players all the way down, and his bid of Kyron Williams was just amazing, and he's
yeah,
an every week starter.
yeah. What a pickup! That was
Yeah,
great.
great, nice job, Chad. And next up we have two teams with a combined 1 win.
The Pharisees are a great get right game for the Rhinos. Unfortunately, the Rhinos have major pieces on bye, and they might not be able to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
John's got some major bye issues too, but when all your guys are as bad as John's are, like there's not a big drop off between your starters and your bench guys anyway. So who cares if you're on bye? I guess I'm gonna go Jeff in a terrible game.
Yeah, this is by the way, Najee Harris and you mentioned the Pittsburgh's offense, man, just looks absolutely awful. And then you've got Mahomes against Minnesota. Uh Lamar, I don't know. I have a hard time picking against Mahomes, but Jeff's skill players just don't have make me think that he's going to score a lot of points. Although I think Laporta looks awesome for the
Yeah, I like
for the
Laporta more
Lions.
than Waller.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um.
I don't
I
know. I mean, do you love John's receivers though? Like
oh,
Debo can be great, but it's
he
Dallas.
was against playing against Dallas. Yeah, and then
I I I think I probably like Jeff better. I think everywhere except Bijan.
yeah, I'm going to take man. This is tough. This might be like an 79 to 85 point game. Uh, and I think the difference, I think I'm going to pick John Middendorf for his first win. We can't have the same picks across the board. I'm going to have the Miami Dolphins beating the Giants like, 70 to 20 and having another 10 sacks against Daniel Jones. And nobody wants someone in the league that's 0-5. So I'm going to be rooting for John to get his first win, to have some hope. Perhaps Lamar takes advantage of a 4-touchdown game and gets some more. But this is going to be an interesting game. It's not the game of the week. It may be the worst game of the week.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, Josh and Brandon's a fun one. Do you think Lawrence has a London advantage by staying there all week? I
Totally do. Don't you
yeah, I
think
think
he's got
so.
2 weeks in London? I think so.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
imagine being Brandon and I just, it's just crazy to me that you got to wake up early before church to watch your team 2 weeks in a row. Man, again, Brandon being tied to the Jags it continues to be painful. What do you see in this game?
Well, from what I've seen of the Giants defense and the way the Dolphins got embarrassed by the Bills, I think Tagovailoa just has a huge game. I like the quarterback to go for Josh. I think Brandon's got the running back advantage. Wide receivers really fun. Like I don't like, I kind of like Josh's more, but man, if Brandon can get some Christian Kirk double points with Lawrence, then I think it's going to swing it in that favor. But I tend to like Josh's more. I'm going to go Josh, but I think Brandon gives him a real match.
Man, I pre-picked this one. I really think that Josh continues and goes to 5-0. I think Brandon's schedule has been, I thought it was really hard. Looking at the points, John's schedule has been the absolute hardest schedule so far of the season. But I think it's going to be another hard luck loss by Brandon when both teams score over 115 points. I think these are some really good blue chip players. I think Brandon scores like 117 points again, loses like 135 to Josh.
Oh,
Brandon.
So. We got Shane and Jeremy.
Yeah.
Jeremy was always going to have his hands full with Shane, but man, his quarterback is on a bye and injured. 3 wide receivers on bye. Javonte may be out. Jeremy's going to be patching together a lineup here. Yeah. Not the way you want to roll in versus Josh Allen and all the Eagles that he's got. This seems like a real easy win for Coach Coward.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way. I should have put the full roster of the due to bide so we could be able to see who he might be able to play, but he doesn't have like the Bills against Carolina. He doesn't have Kittle against a really poor team that can score a lot of points. So like this is kind of, when you're looking at your roster, you're going to have a week where you're like, oh, I'm probably going to lose this week because of too many buys. That's this week for Carr. Surprisingly, Brandon doesn't pick up this week to play Jeremy Carr. Brandon has to play a full strength Josh team, but it looks like an easy win for the Sweat Sox for me. So.
Yeah. All right. Do we have
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, here we go.
In the game of the week, you can see there's a hint up in this left-hand corner. Let's see how many people can hear this. But the game of the week is brought to you by
payments you can holler about too.
And in case you couldn't hear that, this week our game of the week is sponsored by Tall Paul Mead Insurance, 524-1541. Man, just so grateful for Paul and the support for the show. It means a lot that he's reaching out and he's just heard about the show and wanted to come across, especially this week for Jay, a longtime OKC listener and watcher of the show, as Jay and Smith are the game of the week. Aaron, any memories of Tall Paul and the Mead Insurance Company?
I mean, just that commercial was on all the time growing up. So of course you'd be singing it on the school bus and on the playground. It's just a delightful little memory there. But I think this is the Karate Kid's toughest test yet. Yeah. You got Justin Herbert on bye. He's got his broken finger anyway. Time for CJ Stroud time.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Super.
Atlanta seems like you can score on them, although AJ Terrell is probably going to take out one of the guys. Like, I kind of see that as important here. Like, if AJ Terrell is on Tank Dell, advantage Smith. If he covers Nico, then advantage Jay.
Yeah,
I think.
No, I think you're right. I had that exact same thought. Let's keep going though. If this is
Jay's going to need some help at wide receiver though, because man, like we were talking Diggs earlier. I was wondering how you were going to roll at a running back. You got a lot of decisions to make really up and down the lineup.
Yeah.
This is going to be a really fun one. I think Jay puts an end to the Karate Kid streak.
I love that we're opposite. Okay, yeah. Tell me. Keep going. Then I'll pick myself to win.
Well, I'm looking at it. Stroud has been so good, but give me Hurts. Give me Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know, T. Higgins with the ribs. I don't love it. I'll pick against you just to be contrary though.
Okay.
Go Bond.
Yeah, I think that the Stroud and Dell is really interesting. If you were to tell me before the draft that week 5 I would be sweating out the CJ Stroud to Tank Dell, I'd be like, what has happened to my team? And in the same way, although there's not a Monday game on here, this is one of those, it stretches, there's multiple Sunday morning games, Sunday afternoon games, late afternoon, Sunday night. It's just, it's going to make it for an incredible Sunday from start to finish. No Thursday games, no Monday games. It's contained all within one day. It's a little bit different, but I kind of like that. Like I don't have to sweat the Thursday to Monday 5-game stretch where I have to sweat out something to the last. I do like that Brock Purdy and the hopefully not too many mistake-prone 49ers are playing against Dallas, because when I play against Jay, the Cowboys are probably the one person I look at his team like, I don't want them to score 40 points. So
they don't make a lot of mistakes.
I want him to just manage the game well. So I think I'm gonna win over the bye week for Walker and for Herbert, and hope that I can keep it rolling to stay at 5-0. So I'll take myself in the Paul Mead Insurance sponsored segment game of the week. So I think that does it for the slides.
Delicious.
And close for the end of the show. So tell me about the jersey you're wearing. Is this in honor of the baseball playoffs?
Yeah. And I know it's just a pretty Cardinals jersey, and I like it so much. It's a little tight though. I might give it to a friend.
Okay.
See.
Who do you know who it is?
It's I don't even know who this player is. But I guess it used to be really cool back in the day.
Huh. I've never heard of him either.
They didn't make the playoffs, so I don't want to wear this anymore. Like I am, I just associate myself with winners. I'm the kind of guy that there's no losing. I don't have that mystique around me, just winners. So I can't be walking around in a jersey of a team, really. I can't be walking around in some losing team, can't even make the playoffs. So
yeah,
I'll take that to Goodwill. I'll find a friend or something.
Okay, that sounds good. Now, I'm glad that there's no cognitive dissonance here when talking about the Cobras at all. But as we've talked about with the rosters, there are 6 teams at 1-6 or worse. So 2 of those teams are going to make the playoffs. So could be
wide open.
Could be the Cobras. Just one little break is all you need. So hey, thanks for taking the time to go through the show. I always enjoy it.
Look, man, I can walk you through this. Breece Hall's best games last year were with Zach Wilson.
Okay.
So
come on. I want this hope. I want this hope. Fill me with hope.
Jonathan Taylor, he's coming back. He might play for the Colts. He might play for somebody else. He'll run the hell out of the ball if he plays. Joe Burrow's calf gets better. Zay Jones gets a little better running routes. Man, we got a whole team now. What are you talking about? Dalton Kincaid figures out how to play. There's a lineup there. Or I don't break 70 all season.
Yes. How do you feel about time machines? Because the Dalton Kincaid pick, could you go back and pick Laporta for that early tight end pick?
Oh, sure. I turned down trades for Laporta in the preseason because I was like, I'm set. I don't need your guy. I got it. I got Jameson Williams. What if he's good? Just what if?
I actually forgot.
I got all kinds of guys coming back, Jason. Look out, man.
Hope springs eternal. Best wishes to the Cobras, but of course, worst of luck this week. And see you again next week on the show.
See you, bud.